My
They, I
son,
mean,
my
they know
son,
about
my son
Nas,
can't tell
but
you one Nas record. You heard? Like, let's keep it a buck here.
yeah, but
Like, let's keep it a buck. You heard? Let's keep it a buck because you'll bring it up. There must be some type of misconception or what's that word when it comes to Jim Jones and what Jim Jones have done in this game. A lot of these rappers,
we made them take the darkies off.
a lot of these rappers have done a tremendous job, and I take nothing away from them. But they forget I got a hell of a catalog. Me, Jim Jones, myself, gold records, platinum records, gold albums, platinum albums. No, me, Jim Jones. No diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record. Then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries. Then check.
What happens when unchecked confidence collides with undeniable facts on live television? Last night, we witnessed one of the most cringe-inducing moments in podcast history as Jim Jones spectacularly self-destructed on Shannon Sharpe's Nightcap, turning what should have been a routine interview into a masterclass in public humiliation. How does a seasoned rapper with decades in the game end up looking like an amateur debater arguing with someone who just served him facts on a silver platter? The answer lies in what unfolded between Jim Jones and Shannon Sharpe, a train wreck so uncomfortable that even viewers felt secondhand embarrassment. The stage was set when Jim Jones appeared on Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco Johnson's Nightcap podcast. What started as a typical hip-hop discussion quickly escalated into one of the most awkward confrontations in recent podcast memory. The catalyst? Jones's previous comments on Fat Joe's podcast where he boldly claimed superiority over Nas, yes, that Nas, one of hip-hop's most revered lyricists. Shannon Sharpe, a known Nas enthusiast, wasn't about to let these claims slide unchallenged. What happened next was a perfect storm of delusion meeting reality, with Jones digging himself deeper into a hole with every word. Let's address the elephant in the room, Jim Jones's claims about his commercial success compared to Nas. During his previous podcast appearance, Jones challenged listeners to pull up Nas' Billboard entries and pull up my Billboard entries, seemingly confident in his position. This challenge would prove to be his downfall. The harsh reality? Nas dominates Jim Jones in virtually every measurable metric. While Jones boasts about his catalog, Nas has 5 to 6 platinum albums compared to Jones's 0 platinum solo albums. In terms of Billboard Hot 100 entries, Nas commands over 15 entries, while Jones manages just 2. Even in platinum singles, where Jones has his strongest showing with We Fly High, Nas still matches or exceeds his numbers. These aren't opinions or subjective measures. These are cold, hard facts that completely undermine Jones's entire argument. When someone challenges you to compare statistics and then loses spectacularly by their own metrics, it's not just embarrassing, it's career damaging. Perhaps the most cringe-worthy aspect of Jones' performance was watching him desperately shift his argument when confronted with facts. Initially, he wanted to discuss catalog for catalog and Billboard numbers. When those numbers proved devastating to his case, he suddenly pivoted to discussing influence instead. This type of argumentative flip-flopping is a classic sign of someone who knows they're losing but refuses to concede. Jones went from confidently challenging statistical comparisons to awkwardly mumbling about influence and era differences. The desperation was palpable, and viewers could sense it immediately. His attempt to downplay Nas's impact by suggesting younger audiences don't know the legendary rapper fell flat when he couldn't provide any concrete evidence to support this claim. Instead, he offered anecdotal stories about his son not knowing Nas' records, hardly the statistical proof he had demanded when he thought the numbers favored him. When facts failed him, Jones resorted to the oldest trick in the book, personal attacks. His comments about Shannon Sharpe's wardrobe and thinly veiled implications about Sharpe's sexuality revealed a man completely out of ammunition in an intellectual debate. "Look how you dress! You don't even be in the same place as I be in," Jones stammered, desperately trying to shift focus from his failing argument to irrelevant personal characteristics. This wasn't just unprofessional, it was the death rattle of a debate performance gone horribly wrong. The attack on Sharpe's clothing was particularly ironic, coming from someone who claims credit for various fashion trends. If Jones truly influenced fashion as much as he claims, shouldn't he respect others' style choices rather than mock them? Perhaps the most shocking moment came when Jones suggested that Shannon Sharpe needed him for views and was using the controversy to boost his podcast's popularity. This statement revealed a level of delusion that was almost breathtaking in its audacity. Shannon Sharpe, the owner of Club Shay Shay, hosts one of the world's most successful podcasts with interviews garnering tens of millions of views. His platform has featured A-list celebrities, athletes, and entertainment moguls. Multiple YouTube channels with millions of subscribers have made him a media powerhouse in his own right. For Jones to suggest that Sharpe needed him for content was like a local band claiming they were doing Madison Square Garden a favor by performing there. The disconnect from reality was so severe that it prompted Sharpe to deliver what may have been the most devastating response of the entire exchange. Sharpe's handling of the situation was a clinic in how to respond to unfounded attacks with grace and facts. When Jones attempted to diminish the platform's importance, Sharpe calmly reminded him, "This is the biggest podcast you've ever been on." The follow-up was even more brutal. "When you get big, you get invited to Club Shay Shay. Nas gets invited to Club Shay Shay. Jadakiss gets invited to Club Shay Shay. You are not on that level yet, bro." This wasn't just a comeback, it was a reality check delivered with surgical precision. Sharpe didn't need to raise his voice or resort to personal attacks. He simply stated facts that immediately put Jones's claims into proper perspective. What became clear throughout this exchange was that Jim Jones's confidence masks a deeply fragile ego. His inability to handle disagreement, his quick resort to personal attacks, and his desperate attempts to reframe losing arguments all pointed to someone whose self-image doesn't align with reality. This fragility becomes dangerous when it leads to public self-destruction. Instead of gracefully acknowledging that Nas might have superior numbers while still defending his own contributions to hip-hop, Jones chose to double down on demonstrably false claims. Jones does deserve recognition for his influence on fashion trends. His impact on Chrome Heart's popularity, designer belts, and various streetwear movements is legitimate and worth celebrating. However, fashion influence doesn't translate to musical supremacy, and conflating the two weakened his overall argument. Had Jones focused on his genuine contributions, his role in fashion, his influence on hip-hop aesthetics, his longevity in the industry, he could have built a compelling case for his importance without needing to tear down legends like Nas. Instead, he chose the path of direct comparison in areas where he simply couldn't compete. This incident represents a cautionary tale about legacy management in the social media age. Jones' desire for recognition and respect is understandable. Many artists from his era feel overlooked in contemporary hip-hop discussions. However, his approach was counterproductive and potentially damaging to the very legacy he was trying to protect. By making easily disprovable claims about his commercial success, Jones opened himself up to the exact type of fact-checking that demolished his credibility. A more strategic approach would have focused on his unique contributions rather than attempting to diminish others' achievements. The immediate aftermath of this exchange has been swift and unforgiving. Social media has been flooded with clips highlighting Jones's most delusional moments, memes mocking his claims, and analyses like this one examining where he went wrong. For an artist concerned about being forgotten or overlooked, this type of negative attention is particularly damaging. Instead of generating respect for his contributions, Jones has inadvertently created content that portrays him as out of touch and delusional. Jim Jones's Nightcap meltdown serves as a cautionary tale about unchecked ego versus facts. Rather than gracefully acknowledging Nas' superior numbers, Jones doubled down on delusion. Shannon Sharpe's measured response, letting Jones embarrass himself while stating facts, proved that sometimes the best comeback is simply giving someone enough rope to hang themselves with.